Hey, welcome back to Strixhaven Ilandara. I am Emerson, I'm your DM, and from the top down to the right, we have Jerry playing Imogene the Dragonborn, Dylan playing Ryza the Asamar, Deja playing Kaerthana, the druid. No, she's not a druid. She's a wild It's the wild. The word wild got me. She's a wild magic sorcerer. Very much so not a druid. She likes fire. Or she doesn't. Fire likes her. Next is Emily. Emily's playing Giuseppe. That's the druid who has no survival instincts. Next is Carly playing our amazing and precious Evie, who can do nothing wrong ever at all. Who's also a wizard. So we'll see if she commits any magical war crimes. Next is... but again, she won't because she can do nothing wrong ever. Next is Melody. Melody is playing Nim, who has committed war crimes. And Nim is, in fact, a warlock. So, you know, the type that commits war crimes. We are missing, absolutely, Jerry. War crimes does equal hot. You've heard it here first, guys. Not really. That's not true. We do not advocate for violating the Geneva Convention. We are not Obi-Wan Kenobi, who in just one season of Clone Wars violates the convention, I want to say 4 times. But...
Or the Order.
Yeah, no, he falsely surrenders, which is a huge no-no. Like, you don't do that. That's a war crime. He also endangers civilians, another war crime.
Sure, this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That has nothing to do with
Yeah, that is true. That was long before the Geneva Convention. Yeah, war crimes just make spicy backstory. You're absolutely right. So, without further ado... let's dive on in. I've been told I say a different phrase every single time for like the let's get started thing. And I kind of hate it because I've realized this now and now I can't like unrealize it. But either way, last session, we had a very tense conversation with Aurora Luna Winterstar, who is a first year who had a kind of, rather touching moment with Ryza a while back, but then we recently realized is an Auric agent. The Auric are an organization who wants to take down Strixhaven and Strixhaven's control and regulation of magic across the continent of Ilandara. They are... you guys kind of made a deal with her where she kind of has to keep you guys informed if the Auric are going to do anything that might endanger people. She has emphasized that their goal is not to endanger people, but a lot of what they've been doing recently with the Eldritch Balm has been, it needed to be big to draw attention. Because there's apparently some other objective they have on campus. She claims not to know what that objective is. But you guys did convince her to tell you guys if anything... you know, if something's going to happen. You don't know if she will, but she's starting to kind of get on better terms with some of you. We are kind of, this session and last session, we're kind of doing a steady sort of time skip through the rest of this semester, because by catching Aurora, a lot of what was going to happen isn't happening. So instead... as we move toward the sort of final conflict of this semester, we're going to move through the semester doing various scenes that our players want to do throughout the session today. In one of those scenes from last session, about a month after you guys started sort of forcing Aurora to join you guys on Friday lunches and whatnot, Syntax pulled her aside during one of their classes, and they kind of had a heart-to-heart for a while. He learned that Aurora really joined the Auric for, it sounds weird, but to actually resurrect the gods. Ilandara, since the beginning of this current age, has not had any gods that interact with the continent and the people. She sees a lot of the bad things that are happening could possibly be solved if the gods were to return. So she joined the Auric because she heard that theoretically they believe Strixhaven is holding some secret as to why the gods aren't here, and they want to reveal that. She says kind of the two groups of the Auric are the people who believe that and are doing it for like the religious aspect, and the people who want less regulation for magic. So that ranges from people who think Strixhaven is holding back progress all the way up to like straight up anarchists. So there's a wide range of people in the Auric. But yeah, that conversation actually went over very well, and the two of them, I would say, are probably pretty solidly on good terms now. However, Kay, Imogene, and Ryza are all not on the best terms with Aurora. I believe we wanted to do a scene with Ryza and Aurora this week. We can start with that scene, but it also might be a juicy, spicy scene of conflict and emotional trauma. So perhaps we should start somewhere else. Sorry, Jerry got so heated over the base philosophy of the Auric, it was hilarious. Yeah, that's fair. But I definitely read that as they are Antichrist, but it's anarchist. And there's my sister's dog, Tucker. I call him Bucket, because that's his real
My
name.
mortal enemy.
Yes, he is also racist. Jerry came over to our house and he only disliked Jerry. So he is our racist dog. Most of what he does is racially motivated. Yeah, he is the Antichrist. But only to people who are non-white. So yeah.
To be fair, he had a similar reaction.
Fuck yeah!
Sorry, this is super fucked up. He had a similar reaction. I think it's about people that he hasn't like met before. I don't know, but this other person he did this to happened to be brown as well. So I mean, strike two against Tucker. My goodness, guy. I'm working on it, but apologies, Jerry. At least you know it's not just you.
It is
You're not the only brown person that he has targeted, okay?
Yeah, it's
This confirms that the dog is racist.
I know, that was the thing. So the problem is, okay, we had a dog that was like 17 and he recently just had to be put down. So it was our vet coming over. And so it was terrible because, it's a sad moment, but both Emily and I are trying not to laugh because Tucker's blatantly being racist to the vet. And like we wouldn't have thought of that if Jerry hadn't like made the joke like a week earlier. So it was a weird mix of emotions because like we were sad, but also like this was hilarious and kind of embarrassing. So yeah. But yeah, so racist dog out of the way. Are there any specific scenes people want to do? So again, we're kind of going through the whole first, oh, hold on. We have to do something before we can even get to any scenes. And it's mainly because Jerry had the audacity to miss an exam. So he's going to have to take his first exam, guys.
That's right.
Have
any modifiers?
Wouldn't you like? Okay, no. First off, do you think, Imogene, this is an exam for the essentially magical creatures course? Do you think Imogene would have studied for this exam?
Magical creatures?
Yeah, it's the one Verelda Lang with teaching guys like creatures you may encounter as magical aficionados, students, adventure, whatever.
This was also the class where basically
Repeat. God, there's a lot of racism going on.
Oh yes, this is the racially charged class. It all has, yeah.
I feel like Imogen usually pays attention in all of his classes.
Yeah, I will say, normally, if you don't have a full schedule, you can say you get advantage on this first roll to symbolize you studying. Imogen will get that, but only for Silver Quill courses, because Imogen is doing an independent study with a Silver Quill student. But that also kind of means you can't really do it for non-Silver Quill courses, just because your time doesn't allow. So what we're doing first is you can use any ability check you want, and there's a secret DC, or sorry, this one's not secret. I'm going to tell you a DC you have to beat. And if you beat it, you will get one re-roll for the test. Now, a re-roll is not advantage. You can choose to re-roll the result, but you have to take the new result. So first, for the studying phase, you can name any skill that you want to use for studying. So for example, performance, because you're coming up with a mnemonic to remember, phrases. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or you could do sleight of hand, because gestures, or history, because you're just studying normally. Whatever you want. The actual test will be 2 specific skills that you will have to pass the rolls on. You do not get to choose what skills those are. However, you can always choose to cheat instead. I will get to that once we actually get to the proper test. So first, to symbolize studying, what skill do you want Imogen to roll to show how he studied?
Probably perception, since I would assume that
it's just paying attention in
at
class.
The Biblioplex, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking at the Biblioplex, he'd just kind of be walking around restocking shit and just kind of hearing conversations.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that one. So roll perception for me. I will also add jobs and extracurriculars are great options for scenes down the road. Cool. I didn't mention it, but the DC was a 10, so you did succeed. So you're going to get one reroll that you can use during this testing phase.
Excellent.
So how the testing phase works is I'm going to give you 2 checks. You're not going to know the DC for these, but okay. I always will say it is always higher than the studying DC. And I will tell you the studying DC. It is at least 11. So you can always use the checks that I will tell you about are the ones that you use for this specific skills. However, you can always decide to cheat instead. So when you cheat, the 2 skills that you can do are sleight of hand and deception. So there's 2 checks for every test. If you cheat on both checks, it's a deception and a sleight of hand. If you decide to cheat, if you fail to beat the DC with both of your cheating checks, instead of just failing the exam like you normally would, you get caught cheating. So it's a bit more risky. You can also choose to cheat on just one of the 2 checks, but that's tricky because if you fail just that one check, you'll be caught cheating. Whereas if you cheat on both checks, you have to fail both to get caught. Does that make some sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. So we will start off. Your first. So this is a test on elementals. Your first is just sort of talking about composition and anatomy of elementals. It's a multiple choice test that relies heavily on your Arcana skill as you kind of figure out the magic behind elementals on this test. So do me a favor. You can decide to cheat, or you can decide to use the Arcana skill and just take the test.
I'll just take the test.
Cool. Let's see what you roll.
Oh, no.
Okay, so that was a crit fail. The good news
was
is
not.
because you have a reroll.
It was not a crit fail. It was a 2.
Oh, you have a -1 in Arcana. That's actually so much
do.
better. So you do have a reroll. I'm not going to tell you if that beats the DC or not.
yeah, I'm gonna fucking do a reroll.
Okay.
Ain't no fucking way that's gonna pass the DC. It's supposed to be over fucking 11.
I mean, yeah. 13.
Okay, this is better.
Okay. So you're not super confident with the test, but you think you did the multiple choice well. You realize halfway through that like you would offset the pips by like 1, you know? So you had to like go through and reset all of your answers, which symbolizes the 1 to 13.
Imogene's not used to school, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just let you know that right now.
Like you like used a pen on the Scantron, like that kind of thing.
This is probably like his first few times in the classroom.
Yeah, first time seeing a book, all that jazz. I'm kidding. I'm
Yeah.
being mean.
Like there's uniforms.
Yeah. So the second part of the test is a short essay. This is an essay talking about essentially what type of elemental you'd want to summon in certain situations. So like on a stormy boat, would you want to summon a fire elemental? An earth elemental? What about if you're in the middle of the desert? All those kinds of things. Kind of using your intuition to see when and where a good elemental might be found or summoned. So this is a wisdom insight check for me.
Insight. Let's go. No.
That is a
20!
nat 20. So I will say we had another nat 20 on the exams last session, and a nat 20 will make up for if you failed your first check. So eventually you will get your scores back when everyone else did. We're assuming you took the test when they did. We're just doing this because you missed it. How tests work is if you beat both of the DCs, if you beat both checks, you aced it. If you beat one check, you passed it. So like just kind of a C. If you fail both checks, you failed the exam. What's great is the DC was 12. So you actually did passed it on both checks and got a crit. So what this effectively means...
I got extra credit.
Pretty much what it was is that Verelda essentially asks, can I keep these essays as examples for next semester?
Yes.
Which she obviously says aloud in front of the whole class, to which Rubina is livid. Rubina's like, you can keep mine as well. And she's like, no, I'm good.
No,
I only need his.
Yes! There's a god!
So,
and his name is Tiamat!
yeah, so Rubina just like makes a fool of herself. You did great. So what this means is that you get what's called student dice. Student dice are D4s that you can add to the checks that you succeeded on. So what this means is that anytime you roll an Arcana check, you can decide to expend your 1 student dice and roll a 1d4 and add it to it. Once you expend your student dice, it's gone. But you have it indefinitely until you do that. You can add it with inspiration, but inspiration won't let you re-roll the student dice. It'll only let you re-roll the d20. So right now, I believe all of you have student dice in both Arcana and Insight. Again, had you failed one of those questions, you just wouldn't have student dice in that question. This kind of symbolizes you guys doing something, and then something you talked about in class comes up in what you're doing, and you're like, oh my god, we talked about this. We're fighting an elemental here, right? It's that kind of idea. I will add that your extracurriculars give you perpetual student dice in certain skills that just you have. They exhaust, but they come back every long rest. I will go over those. I think I did at the very beginning, but then didn't really touch on it again, so I'll make sure to go over those before we do anything crazy. But yeah, congratulations. Sorry, not congratulations, singular.
Fuck you, Robina.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
you.
good job. You guys finish your first exam. We're going to do another exam this session. And then there will be our finals, but we're going to do our finals probably after we do the big final thing to symbolize the end of the semester. But this other exam we'll do in a little bit. But it's just because, we're moving through the school year, right? Or the semester. Each semester is roughly 5 months. And you guys are already about 2.5. You're about halfway. As far as student life goes, you guys are getting thoroughly into the swing of things. You have your plans of, who you eat lunch with, what your typical stuff is, your study patterns, all that jazz. You also have your extracurriculars and jobs and just social lives. Are there any moments of student life that you guys would like to explore? I'm gonna go through everyone and just see if there are any scenes that people want to do so that we can have them in mind. And also, so if 2 people have the same idea, we can do the scene together so that it's less people waiting on the sidelines while we do a scene with someone. So let's, I started introducing everyone with Jerry. So this time around, let's start at the other end with Melody.
Thank God.
Melody, is there any particular scene you have in mind for Nim? And there can be multiples, but at least for now, we're going to do one scene for everybody, and any more we can just keep doing after that.
Yeah. Nim would like to go to Tavash's office hours. And I'll stick with that one for right now.
Okay, cool. And I'm assuming he's going in private? Or
Yes,
is this
just by
something?
himself.
Okay, cool. That's great. We'll do that in a moment. Is there something that Evie wants, or that Carly wants for Evie? Yeah.
I think Evie would maybe want to do some art club stuff with Nora. Do a
Nice.
little arts and crafts.
Awesome. You guys are both in the art club together, so that's perfect. I believe you guys are the only ones in that art club, as out of the players here, not like the only characters in it, but just, you know what I mean. Cool, so we'll definitely do that. Emily, is there something that you want Giuseppe to do while, school's going on, a cool scene?
Well, I don't know if this isn't very academic, so I don't know if it
Doesn't have to be.
Why can't I think of her name? Oh my gosh, the one that I forced to meet us with lunch.
Yeah, Aurora, the Auric agent.
Okay, so Giuseppe has come to like Aurora, and he wants to ask Aurora to go to coffee with him, but he wants to be clear that it's not just as friends. And he and he doesn't know how to do it because, he asked her to hang out with the full group as friends, but now he wants to take the next step. So I would like to do that scene at some point.
I
But
was
also-
not ready for this, and I love it.
But if I could also have a scene with the group, I would love for Giuseppe to ask for advice from
Oh
everybody.
yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yes,
We are
please.
absolutely
Oh my
gonna do
fucking
that.
God.
Okay.
So cute.
Now, I was not ready for that, and I absolutely love it. Deja, is there anything that you have in mind for Kay?
Right now, I feel like if I have one, I'll send it to you or say something. I was looking forward to the one with syntax, so I don't want to do
Yeah.
without syntax. So
I-
I'll wait. I can always do another check-in with Sapphire, but besides that, I'll wait on it. I'll think.
Okay. I will say that Syntax, which is Trent's character, who's not here, has been spending a lot of his free time in their room, working and constructing something. Just they seem very preoccupied with that, and will come to class very tired, having stayed up late, all that. We will absolutely do that scene next time that we play with both of you. Just help me remember so that I don't end up skipping it, right? But I definitely plan on doing that scene. Dylan, I believe we talked about Ryza wanting to do a scene with Aurora. So we will definitely do that. Is there another scene that you'd like to do as well? Or would you like me to wait for the next time round to check in on that? Okay. And then Jerry, what does Imogene want to do?
Imogene wants to talk to Fame the broker.
Of course he does. And is that a conversation you want to have in private?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if that's the case, does anyone want to start with their scene? I figure I might as well ask as opposed to arbitrarily doing the just choosing one. But does anyone want to start us off this evening, this whatever time the scene takes place in? How about we just jump into the thick of things? Because I think it's probably more important that we get the clear the air between Ryza and Aurora. Especially before Giuseppe comes in and makes a love triangle. So yeah, how do you have Ryza has kind of been very sorry, you're Ryza. Aurora has been kind of a bit awkward around Ryza. When you guys go to your lunches together and whatnot, she's not really making eye contact with Ryza and seems to be actively avoiding her, going so far as to like conveniently forget something in a classroom if she's like going to walk by her in the hallway, you know? It's very obvious to everyone that they're kind of avoiding each other, or at least that Aurora is avoiding Ryza. That doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities when you guys could have conversations, be that on Fridays, or if you actively chase her down after one of your classes, or something along those lines.
So, say, if you think it'd be more effective to try to your random throughout the day, like.
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you with the mic. I know, I see you're trying with it. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's actually better when you guys keep it at a distance.
Ew.
Hey, yeah, that sounds great.
Sorry, this mic. I don't know what's up with this mic. But anyways, let's just say Ryza is like walking, and she sees Aurora in the distance. She's like I'm gonna go surprise her, so she doesn't have any like where to go or expects an escape. Like she doesn't have an escape plan.
I love that.
So, yeah, we're gonna ambush. Is the word we're gonna ambush Aurora?
So she's in Central Quad, just kind of sitting next to one of the large fountains. Let me change us over to that quad. Just plucking on her hurdy-gurdy. Or I guess I should say she's probably underneath one of these trees, not necessarily by a fountain, because she'd want to be in a bit more of a private place. But as such, she's kind of facing away, which offers you a great opportunity to close in before she knows any better.
Yes. So I'm gonna creep up along the tree, or I'm gonna come up to the tree and then kind of come to the side and then stand right next to her and look down as she's sitting. And I'm gonna say, "Why have you been avoiding me?"
You can just see like her entire body tense. And it's like, it's very much so she's trying to continue playing the hurdy-gurdy like it's no big deal. But like you can tell there's it's not coming out as effortless. You're a musician. Like she's actively like, it's now very robotic. Like she's trying really hard not to mess up a very easy like scales. And she just doesn't look at you and just focuses down on the hurdy-gurdy like this is the hardest thing she's ever played. And then she just says quietly under her breath, or I guess not fully under her breath, because she does say it with what appears to be the intent of for you. I just didn't know what to say, so I figured it'd be easier to not.
Let you know. I really thought you were my friend. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk to you either. But something tells me that there's still good news, and I still think we can be friends. So Ryza goes in front of her and sits just cross applesauce. Be like, hey, same like I love you. Gonna make it more like engaging, personable. So then Grace is gonna ask her what was that place called that we went to?
That's the Fury Gale, I believe is what it's called.
So at the Fury Gale, we played music. That mean anything to you as much as it?
She responds very quickly. Of course it did. Look, that was honestly, that was incredible. She kind of swallows, still having a hard time looking at you, but she forces herself to meet your eyes. It's just, you, I believe in what I'm fighting for. But you can see her trying to collect her thoughts. It's very clear that this is sort of something that made her uncomfortable, but she never really allowed herself to think about enough to really form it into words. And then it's moments like that that make me think that maybe the gods are still kind of watching over us, you know? Because what else is something like that other than kind of its own form of divinity on Earth? I know it might not sound, I guess, right, but I'm kind of doing what I do so that I can have more moments like that, so more people can have more moments like that. If we can bring the gods back, imagine so much less suffering. So, yeah. Plus, I was obviously fighting you guys, and while my orders were to kill you guys, I don't know. I think I don't know what I would have had to do if I was going to fight you. And that, I think, scares me a little bit. So I thought it'd be better to just not talk to you, because then I won't have to process what I might or might not have done. Because I'm either, you get the feeling that, like, now that she's started talking, it's a bit of that, like, word vomit. The thoughts are just starting to flow out. Because I'd either have disappointed my group or you. And I'm still trying to figure out how to, well, I want to have both. Your mic is not picking you up, Dylan.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Well, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate that you did kill me, Ernie. I can see the conflict you're having, and I still may see you as a friend, but I do think I'm gonna need some time to regain that trust. I mean, like you said before, you didn't kill us. I just don't really know anymore, I guess. Because I'm not even sure if we're still friends at this point, but you do seem genuine right now, and I feel like this is the best. I feel like this is kind of the best way we probably needed to maybe try and get back on the same page. Do you maybe want to play some music?
You can see that she's kind of a little bit choked up. It's kind of that, like, she knows she fucked up. But she just gives a soft nod.
So, right. Oh, let me show you guys something. I got this for my birthday from my friend Chris, an actual ocarina that I hope to play.
Oh, that's great.
And I got a booklet too. Just know these songs, Legend of Zelda.
Oh, that's super
So,
cool.
stay tuned.
I want to hear Ryza's performance soon. Or as soon as it happens, you know. No pressure.
Good practice. Gotta practice.
Yeah.
But Ryza brings out and we start playing together.
Roll a performance check for me. She's gonna do the same. She rolled an 11, which is pretty average, but about as good as you can kind of expect from how emotional she is at this point. Holy fuck. You rolled a 21, so a 19, almost a crit. Again, you just blow her out of the fucking water. Like, she's painted herself as this, like, musician who's changed her name for, like, performing and all this stuff, and regardless of all the performative Nate aspects to her music, yours just comes straight from the soul. It just flows out and flows over, and it's both sorrowful and hopeful at the same time. And it eventually just, she starts crying. And then when you finish, she kind of awkwardly doesn't make eye contact, but says in a quiet voice, again, it's divine.
Ryza is going to give her like a quick hug, like a comforting hug, like, oh, you're something as best as I can. Ryza pulls away, tells Aurora to hold out her hand, and Ryza puts the ocarina in.
She just looks down at the ocarina that you put in her hand, with kind of just sort of just dumbfounded, like it's not processing. And she looks back at you. You need this.
It's okay. I think of it as it's
You cut out a little bit on that phrase. Think of it as what?
a way for you to heal.
She swallows heavily, and then hugs you back. Thank you. And then she kind of pulls some of her hair out of her eyes, tucks it behind her ear. And meanwhile, Kay comes walking by and just cackles at Ryza. And then, I'm kidding, no. I don't, yeah, I'm just messing with that. No, Ryza is absolutely too pure, and it's amazing. I will say that after this, Aurora is a lot friendlier to you. She's actively making eye contact in the halls, even if it's not like an overt wave. It's pretty much the closest she gets to that, which is that kind of like the little like eyes through the bangs, little like slight head nod of acknowledgement. You know, think angsty emo high schooler, and at lunch the next Friday, she sits directly opposite Ryza, and while the rest of the group is coming and joining, her and Ryza actually strike up a conversation, one that she initiated, asking about specific hand placements on the ocarina. And soon, it's a tentative friendship, but definitely still a friendship. Imogen in the background flinging peas at Evie to catch in her mouth. Oh my god. Okay.
That's so cute.
Now hold on. I'm now reading all of chat. Now stab her. Oh my god. Jerry.
I've been having a day in the chat.
Yeah, these are amazing. Fucking hell, dude, chat is the best feature of all of this. Like, we may only have 5 people watching, which is like us. And at the same time, incredible. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why I expected anything else from Jerry. But next, if you are happy with that scene, Dylan,
Yes, sir.
would anyone like to go next?
I feel like this might be a good segue for Giuseppe's scene.
Yeah, let's do that. And that has everybody in it, so we're good. So again, the common rooms, as I'm assuming this is probably where you want to, ask for advice. There's a shared space in the center with all the first years, and it's pretty easy to sort of get everyone's attention and get them all up. Try to get syntax. Syntax just gives you a I'm busy and doesn't come out, but everyone else joins.
Okay, guys. I really wanted to ask your opinion about this because I've never been in this situation before because I've never gone to school with other kids. What is
Yeah,
it
me
called? What is it called when you look at someone and then
You get hard?
What? I'm
I'm
sorry. What?
He's too weak for that.
that is, but no, I start to sweat a little bit, and then I feel like my face becomes very red, and I feel like I'm dropping, like my stomach is dropping out of my belly, and
Are you
my
feeling guilty for murder?
like goes really fast, and it's really hard for me to make eye contact with them. And I just have this really intense urge to just I don't want to say it. But anyway, yeah, but I don't really know how to do that. So I don't know if that's
Kissing
really
someone,
what I want to do.
you just gotta press your face against theirs.
That's all it is.
I mean, there's a technique to it, but I'm not gonna show you.
Oh, anyway, what do you do? What is that called? What do you do? What are you supposed to do about it?
I don't know what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
What do
And
you-
then we'll just like kind of look at Imogene and then look away.
Oh my
just like trying to help
God.
Giuseppe. He's like, "Are you talking about a crush?"
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Damn,
Think
shit,
so,
what
yeah.
about having
What do you
feelings for
do
someone?
when you have a crush?
Put your
Very deep
faces
in-
together.
So all I need to do, I'll feel better. I just feel like I need to do something or I'm gonna burst. Like I just want to
Giuseppe,
feel
who is it?
better.
Who is it?
Well, I don't want to say because then I don't know. Will you promise you'll help me?
If we all make a blood pact, Imogen pulls out a knife.
No.
Oh no.
Nim's like, okay, sticks out her hand.
No.
Anything for you, Imogene.
Good. You didn't even let
What would a
No.
blood pact help?
A blood
No.
pact is an honored tradition to not go back on your word.
So then you promise to help me?
Yes,
Well, I mean, it
of course
would
I'll help
guarantee that we don't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Is this not normal?
I don't
No.
know.
you. You're
You
asking
can
the
try
wrong
and pat the
person.
hands like, no, put that away.
I like to picture it like the tiny like chicken, very angry, bouncing around at the foot of a person, because there's like big Imogene, tiny Evie, just
Oh,
Laughing like, no.
yeah.
No.
I
don't do that.
absolutely love it. Sorry, continue.
So when you like someone, I'm supposed to go up to them and press my face against their
No.
face, and then I'll feel better.
no.
Ask.
That's how you get the charge.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to hold it and I was trying to stay in character, but I couldn't do it.
I do appreciate that you've leaned in closer to the camera too. It definitely has added to this whole effect, Emily. Like, it was great.
Okay, so now I'm confused. So I'm not supposed to do that, but
Okay.
but
So first, before you press your face against somebody else, you kind of want to know them first and see that they also have the same feeling as you. Why am I the only one talking about this? I feel like
Emily,
I'm the less qualified.
I know this person. We've been friends, and she eats lunch with us all the time.
talking about Aurora?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you could tell her. You guys are good friends,
I tell her that I want to press my face against hers.
No,
right?
don't.
Yes.
No, don't
No.
tell her. No.
I
no.
don't
How
tell
are
her.
you supposed to communicate that?
No, but you to her, maybe get to know her. Like, what is she like?
Music.
Do you play music yourself?
Something personal.
Not very well yet.
Ever something personal, like a lock of your hair or like a tooth or something.
Oh, I have a lot of hair I can give her. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
personal.
What about? And I have like all these twigs. What about some flowers?
Oh yeah, she'd love that.
Yeah.
Flowers are good.
Okay.
Flowers are better. Yeah, just do flowers.
Okay, so I should do flowers first, then talk about pressing my face against her face, and
No.
then press my face against her face.
No, that comes way later.
How much later are we talking?
When you know that she also wants to do the same thing.
As you say that sentence, I was waiting for the perfect opportunity. As you say that sentence, the main door opens, and in walks, with a towel around his neck, fresh from a recent run,
Oh my
the
God.
absolute specimen that is Xanther Bowen.
I was expecting Quintilius.
No,
I was expecting
Xanther.
that too. I'm
I
so
know.
glad it's Xanther.
We gotta do other people other than just Quintilius, right? Xanther, another first year, albeit a very popular one that people sometimes forget is a
My
first
best
year,
friend.
comes in right for effectively the statement of consent is key. And so as soon as he hears that, he looks
Imogen, no
over.
less.
He looks over, and then he points at Imogen and nods, and he's like, "Hey, I don't know what I just walked in on, but I think I heard something I liked." He walks over to the group and just like sits down in the middle of it, and then like pats whoever's next to him very aggressively on the back. I'd like to imagine it's Kay. And just looks at the group and is like, so what are we talking about? Does someone have the interests in someone else? Is someone crushing? Is someone head over heels or heels over head for someone else? He's looking around very excited.
How do you know when someone else wants to press their face against your face?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Except he has a crush.
Hey! He goes over to you and pats you on the shoulder, which again, it's very like Kronk, massive man, just like patting this tiny 14-year-old on the shoulder, and it's like trembles your whole body as he pats. It's like, good to go, little fella. So who's the fancy individual? Who's the light of your eye? Is that the phrase? It is now. Who? But yeah, who? Who's got your heart going
Maybe
a
something fucking
flutter?
Johnny Bravo of the Who's.
Well, if I tell you, Xanther, you have to.
Oh, lips are sealed. Don't you worry, I'm really good with keeping secrets.
Okay.
He says in a way
Okay.
that someone who is not very good at keeping secrets says.
Well, you have to promise, okay?
Oh, I
Because-
promise. I promise. He looks around. What do people promise on? And then he sees his own pinky finger and he's like, ah, ha, ha, I promise on this. And he extends his hand to you for a pinky swear.
Okay. Giuseppe doesn't know that he's supposed to put out his other pinky, so he just takes one of the pebbles out of his thing, and he like wraps the pinky around the pebble and gives it to him.
Is this an Eladrin thing? Cool, I love it. This is our secret pebble. It's perfect. Going in my pocket. He reaches for his exercise shorts. He's like, I realize these don't have pockets. So he takes it and like pinches it in his waistband, and he's like, they're for safekeeping. So, who's the special he, her, or them? Who are they?
It's Aurora.
Aurora Luna Winter Star! Oh, Aurora Luna Winter Star. She's a keeper. That's a good one. Have you heard her play music? She's got good music hands.
I was thinking, eventually, like one day, once I'm good enough, I'll sing her a song or something that I wrote for her.
Oh, that's music as a window into the soul, they say. That's a good one, little heart throb of a man, boy. He looks at you like only now is he processing that you're like 14. Like, and not just really short, because he's just like 6'5". He's just a very tall man. So everyone's short. Only now is he like, wait. Well, I wish you luck. First love is always very tumultuous and rocky. I think I used that first word correctly. But
Yes.
I don't know what this pushing faces thing is, but if you mean kissing, is that what you meant? He looks over at Nim.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah.
Okay,
Like
so
nodding
kissing
vigorously.
is about pushing the lips together, not the face.
Just the lips.
Okay, I feel like you need a demonstration. He looks around and he's like, Nim, you're close to my height. You've kissed before, right? As just friends, obviously, helping the little guy. Unless you're not comfortable with that, I don't need to cross your boundary, because again, he looks over at Giuseppe and like does a finger. Consent is key. You never do anything that both parties haven't given an express yes to.
I mean, I definitely don't know how to do it, so I'd like to know how to do it.
Hey, then it looks like all of us are learning, right?
That's not a yes.
You are correct. Thank you, Imogene. I almost made a mistake there and assumed that something other than an emphatic yes is consent, when it's technically not. Remember, no
Yes.
one can
Okay,
give consent even if they are drinking. You have to be careful, because a drugged consent is not consent.
I don't do drugs.
Remember, alcohol is also a drug, but you probably don't drink either. But I do believe I heard a proper yes from Nim, so now, because we are two consenting... He looks over at Nim. Adults? Teenager, adult, two consenting individuals in a close enough age range. We can now perform
Don't you have a
what's...
girlfriend?
Me? No, I don't.
Yes.
Oh, does Nim have a girlfriend?
No, you.
No.
No.
Nim has a girlfriend?
No.
You have a girlfriend? He looks over at Nim questioningly.
He's like, no, I
It's great, but I
No.
also, if you guys are not into polyamory, I don't want to, I don't want to
don't know
mess things up.
anybody. There's nobody.
Do the
Hey,
demonstration.
you're his girlfriend?
What did you say?
What did Giuseppe say?
She was raising her hand. Kay is Xanther's girlfriend. How did we
Oh,
not know?
no,
Oh,
I'm not dating anyone. No, no. He like says like, no. And then he looks at Kay and he like blushes. He's like, no, not like I'm not interested. But also like, it's just, we're not. You can see that like at this point, his face is burning very red as well. And he's like, no, I mean, we're not an item. Nothing against Kay Earthana, just, it's not a thing. Okay, so now that that's cleared up the air, he's now like not looking at Kay because he's kind of embarrassed himself in front of her.
I thought you were dating Rubina.
He laughs in a way that like, you're sure if Rubina was here, she would be deeply insulted. But it doesn't have any like ounce of animosity in it. It just, and he's like, why would you think Rubina's a very good friend of mine?
Because she's literally attached to you like a throne.
That's because she's a friend. Just like we're friends, Imogene.
Maybe she has a crush on him.
No, she would tell me if she did. After all,
She would.
it's best to be open and communicative with people. So
I
she
hate to
would
break
tell
it to
me.
you, she's not the most truthful person. What?
Imogene, what if she has a crush on you?
This?
You know,
doesn't
she
make me-
does talk about you a lot.
Sure. Like,
I mean, I can't blame her.
actually
but-
motivated things.
It is true. Imogene is very easy to talk about. He does not get that Nim was saying something flirty at all.
I didn't even hear it.
Listen, Nim doesn't even get that Nim was saying something flirty.
Xanther then cracks his knuckles like this, like he's getting ready to do something like physically active. He like cracks his knuckles like, okay, so let's get on with this demonstration.
Fuck it, I'll
Nem.
kiss you. We're best bros, right?
Okay, wait, hold on.
Do you consent to me kissing you?
I do, but I've already said that I'm going to kiss Nim, and I don't know if Nim would be okay with me suddenly not kissing Nim. I don't know if that was something Nim didn't want.
It might be better for me to see it first, so
Okay.
you two should do it.
Very well. So, Imogene, come over here. Yeah, I assume you've kissed before.
Of course.
Very well. So, let's... Sorry, I'm already thinking ahead. Let's... Shall we? So when you like someone, you come in close to their physical space. Eye contact is key, and you have to make sure to tilt your heads just enough so that you don't hit your noses together. It's like a puzzle piece. It's a bit different because Imogene has a snout, but there's still a region at the front of his snoutled face that has lips. Well, I guess he has lips across his whole face. Not his whole face. I'm gonna stop talking now because I feel like this is borderline insulting and that's not my intent. Shall we just kiss, Imogene?
Sure.
Yeah, so he goes in for the kiss. He's a fucking phenomenal kisser.
Oh my god.
It's very much so that like stupid, like he's very much so the like himbo to the extreme where like
Yep.
somehow even the kiss is like the lights like go dark and there's like stars around you. Like it's very much so one of those like not literally, but it's like one of those everything else fades away kisses. Like even to you guys, like, you know, it means nothing, but my God, Xanther looks like his whole heart and soul is in this kiss. And then you're like, oh yeah, never mind, he's Prismari. So like, obviously, like, if he's not going to do anything halfway. Jerry, I need you to roll a d20 for me.
God damn it.
Odd or even?
Fuck, I don't know. Odd.
Okay. Roll a d20 for me. It is even. Right as you guys are kissing, walking out of her room is Rubina.
Better than I thought! Better than I thought!
So the moment you walk out, again, this kiss looks very emotionally like intimate. Like she steps out of her room, sees this, and those of you that see her just see the color drain from her face as she turns around and goes back into her room, and like slams the door shut just as Xanther pulls away, and he's like, "Did someone close the door?"
Best day of my fucking life. I fucked her over twice
And
in one day.
yeah. So Giuseppe, Xanther turns back to you and proudly, hands on hips, looks at you with a dazzling smile. So that's how it's done, my little fella. Now you go out there and follow your heart, but also he kind of is like, you can see he's trying to process something. He leans over to Evie. So how old does he just look young? Because I feel like he might be a bit too young for Aurora, but I also don't know Aurora's age. So he's like stands back up, not waiting for you to answer. So I just trust your gut and follow the stars. He says this as like he obviously has no clue what the fuck it means.
Thank you for the demonstration. It was very educational.
Thank you. I want to kill you now, over and over again. But it was very informational.
Oh, is that because we didn't kiss? We still can, Nim. I give my consent to a kiss. Do you give your consent to a kiss?
Forget about it.
Very well. That, he turns to Giuseppe, is a good sign of no being said in a way other than using the word no. Remember, consent is key. Many things mean no, but only one thing means yes.
Taking notes.
And then he's like, I better go clean up. And he takes his towel, throws it over his shoulder, and then trounces on off. Trounces? He goes on off to his room. He's like, farewell, friends, and congratulations on your crush, Giuseppe. And he closes the door.
So, Imogen, what did that feel like?
Like a kiss.
I need you to be more objective in your description.
If you're asking if I felt anything emotionally, no.
Physically, what was it like?
You know how when you put your hands together and the pressure right there? That's how it feels, but with lips.
Okay. Thank you.
So are you going to tell her?
I think I will, but I've got to figure out the right time and place.
This is gonna be a fucking night.
And I'm gonna offer her a flower. But I'm not gonna ask her right away for a kiss. I'm going to give her a flower and ask to get to know her better, but letting her know that I want to get to know her better so that I can kiss her face.
Probably leave that last part out, and it should be good.
Okay, I'm not supposed to tell her my intentions,
Don't.
though
Well,
I want consent.
yes, but you're not going for the kiss at the moment. I think it's best if you get to know her first, because maybe that might change over time.
So, okay. Thank
Maybe
you.
you may not want to end up kissing her over time, getting to know her. Who knows?
things change like that?
Sure. You can have feelings for no one, and then one day, just boom, you feel for someone.
Okay.
Kind of like you did with her, right? It's not like you always felt for her, it grew.
Okay.
Again, why am I the only one talking about this?
You
It sounds
just
like
know
you have
about
the
it.
most experience.
I feel like I'm the least qualified to be giving education to a child. You're a child, yes.
Barely.
Okay, what does barely mean? Like a
I'm
tween?
at adult school, aren't I?
Sure, and so are kindergartners.
No, they're not. What
Yeah,
kind
In
of
school?
adult
Just
school,
know he's
Imogen?
really smart.
Are we talking about adult school?
We're at school. With
Yes. Sure.
I'm
Any
basically in.
school has adults. Teachers are adults.
Now you're just listing occupation.
Giuseppe, I've never been to fucking school.
Okay, bottom line is, yes, I'm younger, but not that much.
Giuseppe, how old are you?
Irrelevant question.
It's a very relevant question.
Especially if
Completely
you press
irrelevant.
faces with someone.
I'm sorry, Nim. Say that one more time.
It's relevant, especially if you want to touch faces with someone.
Oh no. Does something happen depending on age?
It's more so preference. And sometimes legality.
Can we just end the scene there? Because that literally is the best fucking button.
Yeah.
And so for the next like 2 hours, Imogen is explaining like when it starts getting weird. You know, like, you know.
Oh my god,
Um,
dude! What the fuck just happened?
I'm so happy that Rubina got to see that.
Oh, I have too, but oh my god. This is all because Imogen didn't want him kissing Nim. Fuck!
Love that. That's so good.
This backfired so fucking bad.
Wait, Imogen didn't want him kissing Nim? Is that what?
Yeah, that's why he
Oh
kept
my god!
intervening.
I didn't even register that. Xanther didn't either, obviously. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forget. Your full name is Gerald.
Apparently.
Wait, what?
It's not.
Is it really?
No, it's not. Alexa's just being a bitch.
His full name is Jerry.
Okay.
Short for Jeremy.
Shut the fuck up,
Okay.
son of a...
No, I just like to make up different words that it could be short for that don't work at all. But yeah.
Okay.
Like Jertholomew.
Next person scene. Next person.
Yes. We will. Why don't we do Evie's scene?
Ooh.
So Evie, you are part of the. It's not called the Pottery Club. Let me get the actual name of it. Visual Arts. Is that? One moment. Let me pull up my class schedules documentation. Distinguished Society of Fine Arts. In which you have Nora and Wu, who you know, and she's essentially your RA for this year. She's a wonderfully kind individual. And you also have, hold on, I don't have her portrait here. Let me grab her portrait so that you guys can see her, and so that we can be reminded who she is. Nora, who does not make the best pottery, but it sure does have spirit. She's very kind. She made you guys all welcome mugs that are a little misshapen, but like again, she sure does have spirit. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. There's also this fella who has been in the class with you before. Mainly your intro courses. He's another first year. Caldoris. He is a sculptor and tends to use magic to kind of sculpt these cool fractal patterns. He isn't in Quandrix yet, but he has made it very clear that he wants to get into Quandrix and is using magic to kind of explore, or I guess he's using Quandrix adjacent fractal sort of calculations to make his sculptures. And yeah. So both of those two are probably the two most noticeable, I guess, people in the club, besides, you know, a few marks here and there. Yeah. The club is very nice because it offers a great it's very nice. I know adjectives, I swear. It offers a great opportunity to explore just whatever visual medium you want to explore. A lot of people choose sculpture, namely or pottery. Caldoris leans more sculpture, Nora more pottery. But there are also individuals who paint. That's probably the most common. It's all about just visual mediums. What is Evelina doing? What has been Evelina's passion for this club as of late?
Let's see. Evie likes to paint, but using the art club wants to try and explore different other types of medium.
Oh,
like maybe
nice.
seeing the pottery, she's like, "Ooh, what's this?"
Nora will emphasize, as at this point, knows you pretty well. She's your RA, helped you out during orientation, and still probably joins you every once in a while for various...
You cut out.
Did I? Sorry. She'll join you every once in a while for club related content or to help you on campus, grab lunch with you, whatnot. She knows you're interested in Prismari, and she's Prismari, so she kind of has tried her best to take you under her wing. I see my signal flashing back and forth, so I can tell that I'm kind of cutting in and out. Maybe if I'm a little bit further away, it'll be better. But yeah. So she will tell you, so sculpture and pottery, it's great. And also, what's great is there's the whole painting and glazing aspect too. So if you want to paint, you can make the sculpture and then use it as a canvas for your paint.
Wow. I can use, like, maybe make a cup and then you paint it and actually have them use my art.
Yeah. Wait, did you say her make a cup?
Or no,
No,
like
yeah.
just saying I can do this and I can show, like, kind of
Yeah,
like
no,
make
I
my
get
art
it, I
and
get
use it and yeah.
Yeah, she's like, no, it's super fun. And she will kind of bring you over to the area with all the various clays and all this stuff. She talks about how you can integrate in magic, how certain clays set using magic as opposed to, you know, a kiln or stuff along those lines. Yeah, Caldoris is also very interested in what you're making. His current sculpture is a archer in a really cool laid back like, you know, squatting shot, and instead of an arrow coming out of it, it's this like fractal spiraling magic. Do you ask him anything about his art? Because you can tell that he it's like that kind of thing where it's like he really wants to talk about it, but he's also not gonna like push it on someone else. But he's like just waiting for someone to ask him about why he's sculpting what he's sculpting. But yeah. Again, you don't have to ask him. I'm just saying it's like you don't even need to roll an insight. It's very clear that he wants someone to ask him about it.
I mean, she's gonna see me like, whoa. She would definitely like be curious, like, whoa, that's so cool. How'd you do the what was it? Like the
fractal, yeah.
How'd you do all the fract?
You like it, you know. Okay, so hear me out. This is my LARP character. I know, he's super cool. I only have enough money to buy a bow. So while I'd like to play someone else other than an archer, I only had enough money to buy like a prop bow. So this is my character. I'm obviously Caldoras. This is Dor Lakai, because it's like almost a play on my name, but like it's not. So he grew up in a far off land and he just like goes into this whole long character description for his LARP character.
She is invested.
Yes. And so like the fact that she's an active listener literally is the best thing that Caldoras has like seen in ages. So he like full on focuses in. Eventually Nora comes and joins in and like she's actively listening as well. And this is like the best day this guy's ever had. He's trying to get you guys by the end of this to come and join the LARP club. Apparently the most active individuals are him and Rosie, the little gnome who is part of Lorehold. But yeah, he has just been rattling off about his character. Before long, the club time has kind of ran out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just talking the whole time." Of course, the next time you go to the club, he's still working on the same sculpture, but this time around, he makes it a point to ask you what you're making. And he's like, sorry, I realize I kind of rambled for the longest time there, so apologies, but I get really excited about my LARP characters.
Oh, you're all good. I love to hear about stories, so it was really fascinating to hear about your character.
Well, thank you. Nora says you're a painter. Yeah, she is. Fuck, I'm not going to play both of them at the same time. It's just not going to go well. Nora, like, nods along. And he's looks back at you. So you're trying a new medium and then you're going to paint it?
Yeah, seems like a lot of fun.
Sorry, I got distracted by chat. And it's absolutely true. One person is definitely sculpting a dick somewhere. And then one of the marks is absolutely making a bong. But other than that, everything is normal. Yep. Well, I guess those are normal too. Whatever. It's fine. Yep, oh my god, someone is making a dick-shaped bong, the dong. Absolutely. That's new canon. That's what Mark is doing. Yeah, dong. Mark is making the dong. Mark Marks.
Oh no.
Mark Antony Mark.
So like it was gonna be one thing, but another Mark got into.
Yes, another Mark.
That.
Yeah, so one Mark was making the dick, another Mark was making the bong. They saw it and were like, holy shit. And then they had to combine it. So it's a joint project. Like, Nora wants to be disappointed in them, but at the same time, like, the collaboration is incredible. And unfortunately, it's a very good piece. So like you can't even be mad at it. It's just a very well done piece. You know, the like it's a dick, and then like the actual like bowl is just. Why am I describing this, guys?
No, I'm also thinking about the logistics of
Yeah,
how
like
it
the
would work.
bowl itself is just like really creepily hyper realistic balls.
Yeah, exactly.
And like one of the marks is like, no, you have to do the ball hairs. So like now they've like started meticulously putting in individual hairs. And again, it's
now and
it's
just
the
never come back.
worst. It's the worst. But at the same time, everyone hates it, but it's like the dedication is incredible. Okay, well, now that exists, Caldoris looks at your piece and ignores the dong, but looks at your piece and is like, "So, what are you hoping to paint on it? Or are you just gonna feel it as it goes?" Okay, Emily. Yeah. Was not my best word choice.
Goodness gracious.
I feel like I can't salvage this scene, but I also feel bad because Carly deserves much better than this.
I'm here for the ride, man. It's whatever goes.
But like I'm really trying to salvage it, and I think I've officially blown it up. And then covered it in ball hair. So
And Eva will look at her cup and say, "Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll probably maybe feel out how you want to paint it. I'm not quite sure how I want to do it, but I'll go with the flow with it."
nice, I like it. He'll sit with you and Nora now, kind of. He's decided that you guys are his club friends, you know? And eventually you all just get to talking. Nora does the whole, so, both of you are first years, right? I know Evie's here is hoping to go into Prismari. What about you, Caldoris? You're great at art, but I also see some fractals there. Are you wanting to go Prismari or maybe Quandrix? He nods. He's like, honestly, it's all about Quandrix. I mean, I love art. I love all of that, but it's not quite as, I just don't find it quite, as applicable for me, at least for what I want to do in my life. Like, I love LARP. I love, art. But I think they're more of my, my passions. If I made them into my career, I think I wouldn't like either anymore. Nora nods and she's like, I can get that. Evie here is obviously a genius when it comes to painting. And apparently she's also great at sculpting, so that's incredible. I'm not jealous at all. She says with like a joking laugh. You get the idea that she's not. She's just kind of hyping you up.
Evie would definitely like first cup once it's all done is definitely going to give it to Nora. Be like,
Nora, oh my god, absolutely loves it. She like puts it pretty much on display in her bedroom. Again, she's an RA, so you've probably gone into her room a couple times, and it's just like right there on the shelf. But yeah, you now have this kind of little mini friend group in the club. So yeah. But yeah. Caldoris is now your friend, and obviously Nora's your friend. And we can always come back and do more scenes in the art and entertainment section. But for now, I believe Kaerthana deserves some... Never mind, Kaerthana said that she was going to hold off on a scene. Right? Wait, hold on, fuck. What scene did you want to do, Deja? I'm sorry.
I think it's better to prioritize other people's scenes. I said, like, if anything, I'll do another scene with that guy, but I wanted to do them.
Okay, cool. So let's dive into Nim's conversation with the one and only Oh my god, I
I'm
forgot his
so
name.
nervous.
Tivash, the
Tivash.
Gloom Summoner. I was like, I opened up Silver Quill and I'm like, I don't see his name here. And then I was like, because he's not Silver Quill. Love that. This is a great session, guys. After your, we need to change this music. This is too upbeat and happy for what we're about to talk about. Like he's Mr. Pretty much Snape. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm changing the music on my phone because if I change it on my computer,
Welcome, class, to the defense against the dark arts.
there will be no foolish wand waving or silly incantations in this class.
Please keep your hands, arms, and feet inside the ride at all times. Oh my
Oh
god,
no,
that
no,
was
I
the
messed
best.
everything up. I messed everything up. Hold on. Play link or query.
Please remain calm at all times during the session.
Okay.
Emerson,
I know I'm not calm at all. I fucked
Mr.
everything up.
DeWolda.
Okay, there. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Come on, come on. Be back. Okay, we're good. Nothing happened. I would fist fight Snape for free in a Denny's parking lot, and you'd win. But yes, we are after your Witherbloom course one afternoon, you find yourself heading to Tavash's office hours. As per usual, trekking your way through the Witherbloom campus is a strange amalgamation of architecture and sort of biological layout. The buildings branch off, much like how arteries may, or branches, and it has very much so a hive sort of energy to it. Eventually, you work your way underground to Tavash's office. That doubles as his lab, which again is below the water level and has a big window opening out into the swamp.
You're cutting in and out quite a bit.
God dang it. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick, it's going to look bad, so let me throw up our technical difficulty screen, and then let me adjust my sensitivity. This beautiful technical difficulties screen was brought to us by none other than Bartholomew, our player who plays Imogene. Automatic sensitivity is now turned off, so I should be better.
Yeah, sounds good.
Very good. Now we are going back to our normal play style. Welcome back, and thank you for waiting. I have no clue if you can even hear me when I'm talking like that. Sorry.
No, yeah.
Damn it, you can. Note to self, save that voice for someone. The ASMR voice. Or no, that would be doing this the whole time.
You got a crinkle wrapper next to it.
Yeah, I do. No shade to ASMR. It takes a lot of work from what I understand. Immersimar. Okay, that was clever. That was valid. Now I kind of have to do ASMR. Like that, I should make a TikTok. That's just that, because that is a missed opportunity. Okay, well, apparently changing the screens has also kind of erased our chat from the video, so that's a bit of a bummer. But I still have it here, but yeah. Okay, so inside of Tavash's office, as you knock on the door, you get one knock in, and as you're going for the as you're going for the next knock, you hear a "come in" before you can even give the next knock. And inside,
yeah, okay. Nim would be like pacing around outside his office for a good 10 minutes, probably, just trying to get the nerve up to go inside and knock. And once he eventually does, but yeah.
I love that. As you come in, you just see the very strong gaze of Tavash staring directly at you, his eyes with the faint green glow that they oftentimes have. Before, when you guys came in here, he was preoccupied mixing some Eldritch Balm. This time around, he's sitting at his desk, and it looks like he was possibly grading the recent essays you guys turned in. He sets down his quill and puts his hands in that kind of steepled position over the papers as he just looks at you, not bothering to stand up. He, after sort of, I'm assuming there's an awkward moment of just looking, then he'll say, "Do you want to sit, or are you more comfortable standing?"
I'll sit.
He
And,
snaps his fingers, and a chair grows out of the ground right in front of his desk.
So fucking cool. Oh my god. Yeah, he'll sit.
He does look like Vlad Plasmius. God damn it. Okay. But the he just looks at you intently. It crosses Nim's mind that you're not sure if he's blinked since you've come in here, which totally isn't intimidating at all. He doesn't say anything as he just waits looking at you.
Okay. Yeah, Nim kind of like shifts around and he'll like pull his legs up in the chair and sit cross-legged, just like super awkward and lanky. Like he doesn't fit that way, but he's gonna sit in the chair that way anyway. And he'll just like kind of look around and be like, "So, are we gonna talk about what you said, or are we gonna pretend like that didn't happen?"
He raises a single eyebrow. I have said many things. You'll have to be more specific.
About you breaking the pact with a Demagoth.
Did I say that? He gives you a smile that's kind of shit-eating, if you know what I mean. Like it's more of a little smirk. I figured you might be interested in that, though I was not certain if you wanted to break yours or not.
No, of course, I would never say anything like that. My patron is generous and benevolent. I would, but I'm just, you know.
He gives a
curious
knowing
about-
smile and is like, yes. Very benevolent, isn't he?
Yes.
Do you know his name?
No. He's never told me.
You probably never asked then.
Oh, I haven't.
Do you remember what I told you of Demogoths before?
Yes.
He raises an eyebrow in that very teacherly, why don't you repeat it to me then, kind of...
I will. Let me get my notes.
Oh, shoot, I wasn't actually going to make you do that, but go for it. For our viewers.
Demagoths. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No. I was vamping until you got it. You're good.
Demagoths or tear liquors, they're not related to devils or demons. They're something else entirely. There's only 5 in existence, and they can't reproduce. And we think that they reproduce through miscast magic or spells of the old era, which were before the Great Calamity. No hierarchies, not pure chaotic like demons.
That is a good memory you have. I'm happy you paid attention. Yes, 3 of the Demogoths are in detention bog, but 2 remain at large, as the college would like to call it. One of which we know has spent most of its energy focusing on one individual. I imagine that is not the Demogoth who made a deal with you. No, the Demogoth who made a deal with you is far less overt.
So, is he one of the ones at large then?
Oh yes, they would not have made a deal if they were not. After all, you've met him in person, haven't you?
It's like, I guess, it's like in my head. I only ever see him if I have an episode.
Was it always like that?
It's always been that.
He leans forward, like this information is of note. Interesting. Do you recall ever meeting him in person?
Maybe once when I was little.
Are you certain you've met him in person, or are you certain you have not? I need a certainty.
Nim thinks really hard for a second. I'm certain I've not. I've only ever seen him in my mind.
Now that is peculiar.
How so?
As far as we academics are aware, the only way that the Demogoth can make a deal, can give power, is in person. Once the contract is made, that connection remains, and they can, as you say, contact you in an episode. If you never... Well, perhaps someone else made a deal for you.
They can do that?
I don't see why they couldn't. After all, perhaps a mother or a father desired power, and you were something that could be bargained away.
I guess that would make sense.
In which case, it would make your story only that much more tragic. I hope you do not mind me calling it tragic, but I do not know what other word I would use.
I don't mind. I don't know what else you would call it either. Except maybe stupid.
It is not stupid. Power is tempting. That is what makes it dangerous. Remember, no power is good or evil. What the Demogoth offers you is not good or evil. The problem is that the Demogoth offers you the specific power that you are unfit to use. Again, no power is good or evil, but a user can be unfit to use it because they cannot use it responsibly. Demogoths rely on this because it is how they create more misery in the world.
That makes sense.
It is incredibly difficult to resist the power that you are not ready for. It is also sometimes possible to prove them wrong. To use the power and overcome whatever mishap they thought you would cause.
What if it's too late?
Everyone makes mistakes in their life, young man. It is always too late to change things that have already happened. But it is never too late to use them as an instigator for change. I made many mistakes in my life. One of which was seeking out the Daemogoth for power.
So you went to the Daemogoth looking for it.
Most all do.
Where did you find it?
Hey, we are getting raided right now. Hey, thanks for joining us.
way.
Super excited to have you guys here. We are currently having a nice conversation with one of our students, and
Holy shit, dude.
yeah, this is awesome. But most seek them out because of what they promise. Unimaginable power with little cost. After all, unlike a devil, they're not going to typically make you sign anything, take anything from you. They'll just give you the power. Because oftentimes, those seeking power without putting in the work to gain it are not fit for it. So, the power alone is enough to create more misery.
Of course, you at first don't think there will be any consequences. Is that right?
Exactly. You think you are mature, powerful, smart enough to outsmart the Daemogoth. Everyone does. That's what they rely on. It's like a gambler. The house relies on you thinking that you will beat the odds. But gambling only exists because most people do not beat the odds. Otherwise, nowhere would host the gambling because they would never make money.
Are you certain that if I've never met the Daemogoth in person, that someone else would have had to make the pact for me?
The pact was formed, and the pacts have to be formed in person. That is one of the laws of their magic, the Daemogoth's magic. But they have the ability to grant a lot of power, a lot of potency. You may wish to keep trying to use your pact, and I'm not going to stop you. But know that perhaps seeking guidance before you use this newfound power can help mitigate whatever misery the Daemogoth hopes you will spread. As far as getting out of the pact, it's quite simple. You merely renounce it, and renounce all the power that it gave you. He smiles knowingly. Exactly. It is simple, but it is incredibly painful.
Well, if I'm not even the one who made the pact, then would I even be able to? I mean, I wouldn't ever renounce the pact, but would I theoretically even be able to if someone else made the pact for me?
I don't know. But there is always a way out. At least of magical pacts like this.
I need to ask you something about my mother's soul.
Yes?
How familiar are you with the magic that I performed? The illegal magic I performed?
More familiar than I should probably be for someone who is supposed to regulate illegal magics.
That actually makes me feel better, if you can believe it. I destroyed any possibility of her ever passing on peacefully, didn't I?
You destroyed her. She cannot pass on because she does not exist anymore. There is no soul. She is gone. She will never come back. She cannot ever come back. She does not exist. She is nothing.
Then where did the soul go?
He seems to realize that his blunt statement was probably a bit more than what Nim could handle. He shifts back in his seat, but you also get the feeling that he's not going to apologize. This is a bit high concept, but you are one of my... Hold on just one moment. Sorry, chat. I'm going to keep going with the scene in just a moment. I do have the first 11 episodes. They're on YouTube. I will post the link to that on this channel in just a moment. Or not just a moment, but at the end of our game tonight. They're on YouTube. They're currently private because for some reason YouTube is only really letting me upload it and it's staying in standard definition, which makes me super frustrated. But at the very least, even an episode in standard definition is better than nothing up there. But yes, we do have them. I will throw them up as soon as, or I'll make them public and post a link as soon as we're done. We also now have a Discord that is ready to kind of go live for people. That I'll also post the link to that at the end of our session. So if you're interested, our Discord has information regarding our world's setting, because Strixhaven is in and of itself a Magic the Gathering setting that we then plopped into a homebrew world. So a lot of our continents and nations are based around Magic sets because Wizards of the Coast owns both Magic and D&D, so we can use artwork from both. And commissioning artwork is expensive. So a lot of our nations are inspired by different D&D, different Magic sets. This does not take place in the Magic universe, so even if you recognize a character's art from Magic, they're a different character. But yeah, we'll throw it up there. I hope you enjoy. This is the first game that I've streamed. There's bumps and whatnot here and there, but we're all having a lot of fun. This is a modified module, started off as the module and then is very quickly not that anymore. But yeah, right now, if you're just now joining us, Nim, played by Melody here, is a warlock whose patron effectively gave Nim the magic to save his mother, but in the end, ultimately, Nim effectively defiled her soul. And he's now learning he effectively destroyed it entirely. And that's what we're currently talking about. So Tavash shifts back in his seat and looks at you. So this is rather high concept. But you are one of my more interested students.
And we'll definitely kind of smile at that.
I also want to encourage investigation. Magics are illegal, yes, but understand that Strixhaven has the ability to authorize studies. So while your mother is gone, for all practical magical approaches, maybe there is a way to recover her that is yet to be discovered. I do not want to give you false hope, because as far as I am aware, there is no way. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that students oftentimes are far smarter than their professors. So perhaps you can find one.
Access to her remains, would that change anything?
Probably not. So, a soul. I've talked to you about the 4 aspects that make up a living thing.
Right.
The soul is the most unknown of those aspects. It's the only one that, as a necromancer, you cannot create.
That we know of.
Unless you can solve the animus equation.
Right.
Correct. We believe souls all originate from the same place. A effectively positive plane that permeates all existence. Outside of even the outer planes where supposedly the gods exist that have been long since disconnected from us. It is almost more of a concept than anything else because we don't believe there is a way to truly go there. But it is effectively the... Think of it as the sun letting off light, and that light is the souls. It is the thing that gives all life meaning, definition, all of that.
Is there a name for it?
We simply call it the positive plane. However, he lets out a heavy breath. Do me a favor and roll a persuasion check. Because this is kind of to symbolize if he wants to tell you more than he probably should.
Okay. Rolling. Yes.
That is
18.
an 18. Nice. That will be good enough.
Hell yeah.
That term you threw out the last time we met in private with your
Aeon.
friends. Aeon, correct. That term is oftentimes used less to describe a soul and more to describe this positive plane. The energy that makes up a soul, not a soul itself. Some in the continent of Carine, across the ocean, believe that this Aeon, this positive plane, was once a deity, was the first deity. It is difficult to say if that's true or not, because if that's the case, then they would have had to have died so that all of this Aeon could have flown into all of us. So at which point, are they a god? Are they a progenitor? Or are they just a force of nature that we are putting a face on to make us feel more important? Either way, this Aeon flows from this positive plane through all of us, through all of reality, through the outer planes, through the inner planes, through our material plane, through you and me, and eventually flows to its antithesis, to its negative plane. For everything the positive plane is, the negative plane is not, and vice versa. They cannot exist without one another. Because if there is not something to consume, the thing that is making cannot produce, it cannot give to anything. Think of life and death. Life only has meaning because there is death. Therefore, even this immortal soul we talk about is in and of itself not immortal. It is merely in its process flowing to the negative plane. There is a belief. Precisely the question.
The negative plane.
We do not know. But some believe that then it sort of cycles back to the positive. That the information carried within is not lost, but merely transformed into something new. Others believe that the positive plane is perpetually creating new content, and the negative plane is perpetually destroying absolutely. Normally, a soul will venture from the material plane to an outer plane, such as Celestia or the Nine Hells, where it will live such an extremely long amount of time that we oftentimes consider it immortal. Because for the sake of the mortal realm, the time that it lives there is so long, it is incomprehensible for us. Eventually, however, that soul will leave that outer plane and decay and become part of the negative plane and be consumed.
So that's
What-
where my mother's soul went. The negative plane.
Precisely. You bypassed the outer planes and you fed it directly to the negative plane. So theoretically, you annihilated it. Unless you can, through some act of magic, discover what really happens in the negative plane. Perhaps there is a way to pull from it. Perhaps there is a way to alter. Who knows? Again, this is very high concept, and the magics of this is purely theoretical. Whatever boundary is blocking the gods from interacting on our continent is also blocking us from going to the outer planes, which also ultimately blocks us from going to the negative plane or the positive plane, if it were possible to get to them. Any answers you might find would be among the gods, and we can't get to the gods.
How certain are we that the positive plane and negative plane exist and aren't just concepts?
We are not. It is
There's
simply
no research to back it up.
There is research, but again, because we cannot access the outer planes, which are more in tune with positivity and negativity, we cannot study a soul leaving those outer planes. The only thing that can flow back and forth is the aeon, is the soul energy. Unless we somehow find a way to bring the gods back to our world, you will forever be unable to get the answer to that question.
I see. That makes as much sense as it can, I suppose.
And that is quite impressive, because it does not make much sense. He smiles a bit. You are a good child, Nim, but understand that you are still a child. What feels like the end of the world today is a big deal and is the end of the world, but only for today. We have all seen horrible things, done horrible things, but we are still here and still living because that is part of what it means to be alive. These horrible things shape us, but they do not have to define us. Even if we wear proof of the acts we have done, you can be more than what that act says you are.
How?
If I know the answer to that, well, that's what living is for. Everyone finds their own how. And I'm confident you can find yours. Though
Thank
I
you.
will be honest, having allies along the way makes it easier. I would never have broken my contract if it wasn't for Mavinda, for example.
Really? She helped you.
If you tell her that she matters that much to me, I will deny it. He chuckles
It's just
a
like
bit.
shaking his head like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
He
I want you to
chuckles
share
a
it."
bit. She's a good soul, albeit a quirky one. But I should probably let you go unless you have questions regarding the most recent exam coming up, but you did well on the last, so I imagine you will do well now. And your paper, he points down at the papers he's grading, very well thought out. Your analysis of essences, you brought up some good, higher thinking arguments.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
You have nothing to appreciate. This is your own work, not anything that is mine, so I'm just stating a fact. Now,
Right, well, thank you for your advice.
no worries. My door is symbolically always open. In fact, it is always locked, but still, you get what I mean. He gives you a smile. Now,
Yeah.
do me a favor and get out of here so I can finish these before Mavinda harasses me to join her at a gambling game that I do not want to partake in.
Okay, have fun at game night, and then we'll run out of the room.
Okay, cool. That voice was actually kind of doing a number on my throat, so I'm gonna drink some water real quick. So, for those of you who are joining us now, we are in the first semester of all of our students, our players. Oh my god, English is so hard. Our players' first year in school and first semester. They kind of managed to, which great job on their part, catch like the semester big baddie, like the first month of the semester. So now we are kind of moving through the rest of the semester a little bit faster. We still have some interesting events coming up, but it'll be more toward the end of the semester. In the meantime, we're doing kind of individual scenes with various NPCs and other experiences that players want their characters to have. So we've had one character sort of talk about hopefully confessing love to a crush. Other characters participating in clubs, some making amends with friends who hurt them. All that. Next, I believe, we have Jerry doing a scene that will be highly illegal.
Let's go!
Yeah.
You don't know that yet.
So, Imogene has what led you to the point that you're at right now, Imogene? Why are you heading here? What's going on? Why don't you?
He's heading here out of like curiosity and also kind of like in a way like to pay respect.
Okay, kind of that. Mafia Dawn have to let them know that you're here and respect. Got it.
Yeah.
It is true that your connections growing up in Goldheart, the Art Deco urban capital of the nearby Ensara Empire, is one that was filled with various criminal, I guess, elements. And as such, you have heard about, on a side note, Deja and Dylan, you guys are partying over there. Your camera is just strobing on you. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, good. It is just the camera, though, right? It's not like your actual lights. Okay, thank God. I was like, I would just go insane. I'm like, it's funny, but fuck. Oh yeah, I will add, we are not a family-friendly stream. We cuss a lot, and
We say fuck.
yeah.
We say the fuck word.
You guys missed it. There was an art class. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that there. You also missed our entire like sex education consent is key NPC.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah, you can go back and watch it. Haha, I forgot that's a thing. See, I know what I'm doing. I am an expert at this. I'm not. So, growing up in Goldheart, and connected to the organizations that you were connected to, you always heard about Fane the Broker. He was effectively the inside man at Strixhaven. Strixhaven is in charge of all the magical regulations in the continent, and as such has a tenuous relationship with Goldheart, because Goldheart has been actively advancing magical technologies in ways that Strixhaven doesn't really like. Fane is one of those that is very... It is common knowledge for both Strixhaven and Goldheart where his allegiances lie. But he is such a skilled mage and instructor that even if his allegiances lie to Goldheart before Strixhaven, they would be foolish to fire him from the faculty. But as such, some say that he doesn't know everything that goes on at Strixhaven. However, the information that your organization has gotten over the years implies that Fane probably does know most everything going on in Strixhaven. He is known in the student body as the man that can get you anything for the right price. So that can be something along the lines of, a snack that the campus doesn't stock because it's too unhealthy, all the way up to less than legal supplies for a magical project of some sort. He's also very good with ink magic, and namely summoning. You approach his office hours. At this point, you're very, very comfortable with walking around the Silver Quill campus because you come here so often to do independent studies with Killian Liu. Heading into the faculty lounge, you find Fane lounging in sort of the central room. In a way that's very much so, he's just relaxing, but also is kind of an open invitation for someone to approach. This is where you've heard he'll be. After all, this is where all the students say he is if you need something from him. He looks like Loki. But apart from that, he has a strong widow's peak and a single streak of gray hair coming from one temple going back. His suit is very much so a suit. That's stylized. He is a very pretty individual, and he always has a Inkling, the mascot of Silver Quill. He always has an Inkling somewhere nearby, most of the time sitting on his shoulder. Some say that the Inkling, that his Inkling records all of his, what he talks and meets people about, because it is made of ink. So there's the whole rumors that there's like a secret scroll of parchment inside the Inkling that it's writing on inside of itself while conversations are happening. Because Fane never seems to forget anything that was ever agreed upon, even though no one ever writes anything down. As you approach, he leans back in the padded sofa chair thing, whatever it's called. What is it? Is it a love seat where it's like not a couch, but a little bit wider? That sounds weird. But you know what okay.
You think you need a sofa?
Yeah. I mean, I totally just ruined the moment. But either way, he kind of reclines back in this seat that's ultimately for more than one person. But he's filling it completely. There's nowhere to sit opposite him. But he also doesn't seem incredibly inviting. However, his smirk as he meets your eyes. I thought I'd see you here. It's a pleasure to meet you officially. You're one of Spari's, aren't you?
Yes, I figured it'd be good manners to introduce myself to you officially.
Absolutely. He gives like a little overly dramatic salute bow to you.
Yeah, he would like return like his own bow.
I'm not nearly as obsessed with some of the etiquette that the other maestros emphasize. But I appreciate it nonetheless. I understand that as one of Spari's, you're not directly a maestro.
No.
Perhaps that's for the better. It's good to see that Spari's getting strong enough to send one of his own to this school. He's the first other family to do so. I hope you know that we will be fast friends, you and I. I've no intention to undermine any of your schooling. As far as I'm aware, we have to stick together.
Of course, as we always do.
Well, it's all for Levidius, and it always will be. So tell me, what's your name again?
My name is Imogen.
Imogen, yes, that was it. I was told, but it escaped my mind. You get the feeling that it didn't at all. It was just kind of a power move. Well, as you are well aware, my name is Fane. People call me the Broker, but I suppose I am a shadow sorcerer, an instructor here. I hear that you are studying alongside Killian. The dean has taken an interest in you. That is another good sign for Spari's folk.
Yes, I'm slowly trying to make my impression here in the school.
You are making a good one. So good, in fact, that should that start going south, well, you've built up quite the reputation here as a very unique individual, a very skilled individual. It would reflect very poorly on Spari, the maestros, and Urin himself if, well, best keep up your studies.
Yes.
Urin would be very disappointed should you fall behind. I will say that's good. Spari was smart to send you, but perhaps a bit too ambitious. Urin has his eye on you. It may be wise for you to leave Spari's employ and join the maestros proper, should you continue to perform admirably.
Of course, have to produce results in order to gain the next step, as they say.
But so far for a first year, your results are spectacular.
Thank you. Hopefully I can continue to improve and continue this charade in this academia.
Is it a charade for you?
It's a charade being so formal with these people. It's not like home. Too proper.
You see, once you are a part of the Maestro, you'll realize, well, it's all about performance. Only for the grunts is it so uncivilized. And the moment you enrolled in here, well, I don't think they can call you a grunt anymore, now can they? No, you're one of
It's
Spari's most powerful bargaining chips. And do me a favor, wait until I finish talking before you try and start. Yes, young
Of
man?
course. Forgive me.
No worries. He gestures at you like now is your turn to talk.
It's a very different dynamic of what I'm used to. It's a lot of learning of what's normal in regular society.
It's alarming, is it not? For those of us who grew up so, well, gnashing with tooth and nail for every little scrap we can get our hands on. To suddenly be in a place so plentiful, so kind. After all, everyone here wants you to succeed. I'd say that's quite the opposite of Goldheart, wouldn't you?
I guess it really depends on the crowd you have. Here I've already been facing some opposition, more so from those who claim fame, but really are just a speck of dust on the ground.
Ho ho ho! I take it you're talking about your little academic rivalry with little Miss Larkingdale. Rubina Larkingdale.
Yes. Definitely not very fond of her. It's a lot of restraint.
Well, I suggest you continue to practice it. The world is full of people we dislike who are more powerful than us. After all, perhaps Rubina will become that. She does show a lot of promise as well. He smirks in a kind of vindictive. You have a feeling he's planning something.
Mm.
Only through challenges can we grow, after all. I'm growing bored with this conversation. Are you finished here?
Sure. I'm done wasting your time.
Oh, you have not wasted my time whatsoever. Do not talk so lowly of yourself. However, unfortunately, I do have other things I must attend to now. So, if you'll excuse me. He says this, but he doesn't act like he's going anywhere.
Yeah, no, Imogen's gonna stand there.
The the inkling on his shoulder will gesture with its two little ink hands like
He'll
giving
just
you the hint,
stare.
like, just go. Fane shifts in his seat, leaning forward a little. You're not actually that bright, are you?
It's not a matter of intelligence, it's more so. In order for a gesture to work and be intimidating, it has to be done in execution. I'm sure you knew all about that, correct?
Oh, certainly. He stands up. And he walks over to Imogene. He extends his hands for a hug. Shall we... Well, to a profitable future relationship.
To a proper food. That's me fucking up. To a proper fruitful relationship.
Wait, hold on. That's you messing it up, or is that Imogene messing it up?
That was me messing it up. I fucking stumbled my words.
You're good, you're good. I just didn't know, because if Imogene was doing that, that's him being ballsy as fuck. So I wasn't sure. Okay. He hugs Imogene. And then you just hear whispered in your ear. Now get the fuck out of my sight. Before you think that you're even worth my time. I don't play games. The next time you try, it'll be your last. I don't care if you're a student or not. I've made problems disappear before, and I'll do it again. As he leans back, he pats your face with one hand and smiles. And we don't want to be a problem now, do we? How's that for execution? Now get out.
Imogen will give like a bow, be like, thank you for the proper introduction. It will be a pleasure working with you these upcoming years.
Likewise.
And now Imogen will leave.
Okay. As you're at the door, you hear faint, "Oh, one moment, Imogen. I almost forgot. I hear Rubina's getting some independent study from a professor. Best keep your eye out. She might surpass you."
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm counting on it. He smiles and waves you goodbye.
Imogen leaves.
Yay! So, for you guys still watching who haven't seen other episodes, everyone has a really great school experience except Imogen. Everyone's a piece of shit to Imogen always. So yeah. It is 11:06. We started an hour later, but we tend to try to finish around 11 Pacific time. So I will ask, are there more scenes people would like to perform? Emily, do you want to wait on the Aurora scene for the proper moment? In other words, probably the worst moment. Because, yeah, so we can also do that scene if you would like, but I think waiting might be interesting. Are there any other scenes people would like to do? We can probably squeeze in one more, or we can call it here. Deja, are you sure? Do you want to do another scene with Zaphi? Or is there another thing that you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah, not with Sapphire, but just we can keep it short and sweet. Karathana wants to go to the Fury Gale. So that's it.
The Fury Gale?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, Karathana, I don't know, is this the first time you've gone to the Fury Gale?
No, I think she's come probably at this point with Sapphire. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry. I forgot his entire thing was introducing you to the Fury Gale and saying that this is a great place to explore your emotions. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so you're at the Fury Gale. What time do you go? Is this sort of midday, evening, night?
This is probably in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night?
With no one else there. If there are people, she's definitely finding a more secluded place.
Okay. There is no one around. as far as you can tell. It's middle of the night. Campus is deserted. There's the occasional clockwork automaton or professor who might have been wrapping something up or preparing for a course, but it really is, it's the middle of the night on a college campus. There's very little going on. The Fury Gale itself also seems to have calmed down a little bit. Almost like during nighttime, it's not feeding off of all the other emotions of all of the Prismari students. So it's still chaotic, it's still loud, it's still what it is. But it's almost more of a feeling, like it's resting, compared to it at its full energetic peak.
Let me know if it's not picking up, because I'm trying to pay attention.
You're good, you're good. You're picking up.
Okay. So, Kay is going to find an area where it's a little bit more like solid, a pretty decently big space. She's going to take a big breath, and she's going to like exhale on a scream and just start running around and like tumbling and doing gymnastics and kind of like letting her inner child out to play throughout the Fury Gale.
That's the cutest shit, and I'm also just thinking of Footloose. The like dance sequence too, when he's like angry dancing, and I'm sorry, I'm undermining the entire thing. That is phenomenal. Okay. So as you're running around, letting all of that out, it really does feel amazing. You haven't let yourself do this since you really were a tiny child, and even then, maybe once, and then never again. A lot like what Zaphi said with controlling your wild magic, the first step is feeling it, knowing that it's there, because only once you know what you're actually trying to manipulate, trying to control, can you know how to channel it. I will say, from here on out, when you have to roll on the wild magic table, roll 2 results, and you'll be able to pick out of the 2 results what happens. Just moving forward, I'll tell you what both results are, and you can essentially feel that magic welling up and try to direct it a certain way. Because I'm assuming you're kind of doing these types of behaviors a lot, trying to find this, yeah. Do me a favor, and it's not bad either way, but can you roll a d20 for me? This is essentially just a luck roll. Lower than a 10, there might be someone nearby who sees this. Not that they'll be hurt or anything like that, but just, we'll see. That's a 4. As you're doing this, you hear a crackle of some kind of magic on the other side of one of the sort of writhing pools of color within the Fury Gale. Again, the Fury Gale is a shifting and changing space, so it's almost like clouds you can walk on that then turn to stone, that then turn to whatever. So whole walls and whatnot will appear and disappear in moments. So it's very easy to be potentially standing right next to someone and never know it. It's also easy to kind of get lost in the Fury Gale. That's one reason why, like in the artwork that we have for the Prismari campus, there's that big spire. A lot of the main campus of Prismari has spires, so you can see it if you're in the Fury Gale as well. So you can kind of know what direction to walk in, right? Also, in general, you're encouraged not to go directly into the Fury Gale just because it is chaotic magic. It can hurt you. But sure enough, you see a flash of kind of blue, translucent magic. And it's different than the typical Prismari magic. And then you hear just like a muffled kind of angry cursing. Like someone was trying a spell and it didn't work. You see another kind of burst of blue, and this time around, you're able to kind of pinpoint what the magic reminds you of. And it reminds you of Quandrix. Kind of some twisting fractals that seem to almost be taking shape into something and then failing. Again, you kind of hear some muffled cursing, and you're pretty sure they're probably, whoever's doing this is just around sort of this bend in the Fury Gale. You're pretty sure they haven't noticed you because they seem very focused on whatever they're doing. You have the opportunity to investigate who or whatever's happening here, but you've also noticed them and could probably run away if you wanted. So it's entirely up to you.
Kay's gonna investigate while trying to be sneaky.
Okay, cool. I love it. You go around the corner and see something you didn't expect. It's no one you recognize. But roll a... No, you actually don't need to roll anything. The figure's small. They look kind of like Giuseppe, possibly even younger. And there's this kind of shifting fractals as they position their hands as if, a lot like how you might channel magic out of you. They're trying to do the same, and these fractals spiral out. It's different than you've seen spells cast from Quandrix before. Quandrix is very analytical. Most spells are mathematical. There's very exact hand gestures, very exact, processes to it. A lot less like the Prismari emotion-based magic. So this is already a little strange. But as sort of the light illuminates their face, sorry, Jerry's comment is incredible, but it's incredible. But it is true. This person can't be older than 13 or 14. They're wearing green robes, but they don't quite have the look of a proper student's robes. Yeah, you see them. Their brown hair, the tips of which are have the slightest green tint to them. What, if anything, do you do? They try to do this thing, and you hear just kind of more cursing under breath, as they seem rather frustrated that they can't figure out this spell they're trying to do.
So initially, Kay was trying to be sneaky because she wasn't like sure what was going on, but she's running on like an adrenaline high she hasn't felt in years, maybe at least a decade. So she's gonna go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I love it. It's like so not K in the most K way, and that's great. The moment you say that,
Do it.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So the moment you say that, the kid darts and looks over to you. utterly like they didn't know you were there at all. Most terrifying moment of their life. And I gotta do a roll. And I'm doing it digitally. I already rolled to see if he. Oh no. So I accidentally rolled 2 dice. I meant to roll the first one. So the first one was a crit. Which isn't great. As you say, like, hey, he's startled and raises a hand towards you to like push back, and a gigantic fractal like wave comes out of the ground and just slams you for full force in the chest. You are going to take some damage, but at the same time, this is the only scene we're doing in this day, so I'm not going to worry about it. But it's damage. Like, you took a D8 of damage. Like, it wasn't very comfortable. And then immediately you hear the high-pitched squeak of panic as he runs over to you and it's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I swear I didn't mean to do that. You startled me, and then, oh god. And as he like helps you to your feet. I'm sorry. What are you doing here? Sorry. As he like brushes off your clothes, which don't have any mark on them. It was a fractal. Like there's no dirt or anything.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm great, actually. I'm just feeling. What are you doing here?
Math?
Explain.
You get the feeling that this was very much so like first thing that came to head, say thing that's believable, said it, realized fuck that wasn't believable at all. And then I'm trying to figure out one of the spells that Dika was teaching in one of her classes. Obviously, I'm not really nailing it. So, yeah. I'm trying to do math. I just don't know the math of the spell. So, yeah.
Well, where's it going wrong?
Where isn't it going wrong, really? He seems nervous to have been caught here. Don't you like have to be in bed or something?
Sleep later. What about you?
I mean, yeah, technically.
You seem nervous. Maybe that's why the spell's not working.
No, he looks around like, is there anyone else here? And he's like, no, I'm definitely nervous because I'm not supposed to be here. And I thought no one else would be here either. So that's kind of part of it.
You're supposed to be here.
Because it's the middle of the night and I'm not on Quandrix campus. So, yeah, not supposed to be here. He gives a shrug. Huh. I suppose I probably shouldn't have said that either, because you wouldn't have known I wasn't supposed to be here. But then I said that, so here I am. Yeah. He extends a hand. He's like, at this point, mine as well. Like, I've already committed. The name's Animo. It's, yeah, that's my name. My parents... He shakes it.
Hand and like grab with her other. My name's Claire tonight. Really nice. Not gonna let go.
Oh, wow, you've got quite a grip there. Yeah, cool. You seem like a happy person.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
So hear me out.
Okay.
I have an idea. I've been having a really, really great time. So you're just gonna have to trust me. We're gonna do something. We're gonna try something, and then I think you should try your spell after. I
Okay.
promise you won't tell anyone that you're gonna try. I wouldn't anyway. But I think you might help.
I mean, I'm willing to try it. He says in a tone that makes it sound like he's not that willing to try it.
Okay. So she is going to let go of one hand, but keep one hand like
Yeah.
in her. So we're just gonna run, and we're gonna yell, and we're gonna keep running and keep yelling until we get it.
Okay. Uh.
Okay, are you ready?
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I thought we were starting. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Go.
Okay. He kind of is a little hesitant. The first yell is kind of like a and then it eventually kind of builds, and before long he's full on, like, he's doing the same thing. He's absolutely in this. And you guys just run around for a while, screaming, doing all that stuff. As you're doing this, obviously, a lot like Zaphi, little sparks and flames and whatnot are flying off of you. At one point, a flump pops into existence before screaming and flying away and then popping out of existence. Then, as you're doing it, you see little fractals spiraling off of Animo as he's running as well, much the same way, as he's kind of just enjoying the moment with you. Once you both are sufficiently out of breath, and your voice is borderline screamed hoarse, he stops out of breath and just looks at you. Okay, that was actually pretty fun. Yeah.
You should try your spell now. You should try it.
He will. Let me roll dice and see if he does it. That's a 17. Yeah, absolutely. He tries to make this kind of what almost looks like a shield of fractal sort of energy in front of him. And this time around, it manifests the first time he tries it. And he looks at you with like the biggest toothy grin. And he's like, I did it! It worked! Oh, I mean, thanks. And that kind of nervousness is back. I should, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that would work.
That's it. We should probably go to bed now. But
Yeah, probably. Yeah, see you around, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Okay, bye. Yeah, bye. And it's kind of that, like, fast walking, arms down, like, away. And he sort of heads off in the direction of the Quandrix College. And with that, that will be the end of that scene. That was cute, Kay, or Deja. And that is probably where we should end. I will say, Keja. Okay, sorry, I found that very funny. I will say, Deja, Karathana, yeah, this kid is definitely probably about 14, maybe a little younger. So at best, he's a prodigy student like Giuseppe, because the earliest you can be enrolled is 14 if you really show excess promise. But the normal age of enrollment is 16.
like after this, like when Kay like is actually when Kaerthana has time to process this, that probably makes sense in her head why he was like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be here." But in the moment, she didn't notice anything about that,
Yeah.
any of it. So
Do me a favor, roll an insight check then, so to kind of process it once you're out. Also because like I've made people roll like 2 checks this session, so I should probably, you know, we're playing D&D. There's dice in it, right?
I mean, you dealt me damage. So
Yeah, but like not really, because you're taking a long rest right now, so like I'm not gonna roll the dice. A 7. Yeah, so everything I said, you're not really gonna get any more than that, but yeah. And another 7. Good job.
ignore it.
You're good. As a reminder, you guys, you do have a insight student dice. Not saying this is the time to use it, but just a reminder. So it is already about a half hour later than usual. I went a bit longer because we started later, but I realize everyone has stuff they have to get to in the mornings and early mornings and all of that. So this will be where we wrap up. We do now officially have a Discord. And I will try to make sure that the YouTube videos are up and good to go. They'll probably be up proper tomorrow, just because I don't quite have the time tonight. But we do have them. They will be up, and you guys will be able to fully catch up if anyone is interested in catching up. I will attach our Discord invite to our Twitch as soon as we're done here, and then I'll also attach the YouTube link to Twitch as well. Also, if you join our Discord, you will be able to get that link as well as soon as I have it fully set up. In the meantime, thank you guys for coming. Thanks for raiding. Thanks for watching and participating in chat, and all that jazz. Thank you to my wonderful players, one of which you guys haven't met. He will be back with us next session, I believe. However, this is a big important thing. We play every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 7:30 to 11 Pacific Standard Time. Every once in a while, if we have players who are running late, we may end up starting about an hour later. But it's the goal in general is 7:30 to 11. However, next week we will not be playing because both me and my sister Emily are moving to a new place. So I literally won't have a computer and internet and all of that. So I can't actually run the game. So unfortunately, we got all these awesome viewers, and then we're taking a week off. But we will be back the following Tuesday. That is for those of you watching. The 13th of September, we will be back. And it will be fun and exciting as we approach the kind of climax of this this semester at school, the first semester. Until next time, everyone, have a great evening or morning or wherever you're at. Normally we only have like 3 viewers, so this is awesome. And those 3 viewers are typically us.
It's just us.
It's really just us, and then the amazing Fandomite, who is just a great.
A bitch.
Okay,
No, we
she's
love
great.
her.
She's great. Jerry's just an asshole.
No, she's an asshole.
But yeah. Farewell, guys, and have a good one.
Okay,
See you
thanks.
next Tuesday.
Bye.
Thanks for the raid.